The mood of depression in number 10 is quite striking. There's a story from Guido Fawkes that says that the Chief of Staff in number 10, Liam Booth Smith, when talking to the advisors, said, well, if you don't believe we can win, if you don't believe the Conservatives can win at the next election, then you better resign now and get it over with. And he said that if people did resign, he'd help them to get new jobs if they were honest enough to throw in the towel now. It's extraordinary. Apparently some people have taken him at his word. And this is most extraordinary, that sense of doom, approaching doom. Of course, on the other side of the coin, that means quite a lot of these special advisors think that Rishi can actually win. I know, faced with that choice, I would be walking for the door. I don't think he can win. I don't think there's a hope in hell that he can win. Certainly not with Suella Braverman at his side. But this is where the other interesting rumour comes in. Apparently, there is gossip around Whitehall that Suella Braverman is thinking of resigning so that she can prepare to stand against Rishi as soon as he loses the next election. This would, of course, be extraordinarily foolish. Number one, there's a possibility she wouldn't win. But number two, the person who goes in as leader of the opposition probably would not last until the Labour Party fell. So Suella Braverman, if she wanted to be leader of the Conservatives, would resign herself to never being Prime Minister. That, I must say, would sail my boat. But I think the sooner she goes, the more chance there is that Rishi could actually restore the Conservative Party so that it was an effective party of opposition, if not just barely managing to cling on by its fingernails to government. But if the Conservative Party continues to lurch to this absurd and frankly immoral right, it is going to lose all credibility and probably the greater part of its silent electorate. The greater part of those people who vote for it. I don't believe Mrs. Jones in the middle of Surrey is in favour of the xenophobic rhetoric that is put out by Suella Braverman. People go along with it because they think that's right. People go along with it because they're deceived into thinking that this is legal, that this is within the realm of international law, of which we are a party. But it's not. It's not, and we are going to be paying the price for this cavalier attitude to international law. We are going to be paying that price for years to come. And it's going to be higher and higher the further down the road Suella Braverman's plans get. Now, of course, she's not the ultimate author of this rubbish. Priti Patel is. And I'm sure Priti Patel has her eyes on number 10, or at least on the office of Leader of the Opposition. Kemi Badenoch is another. All of these are threaded together with the same ideology. It's very, very worrying. But there are others. Jenrick! Robert Jenrick! The man who looks as if he could be blown over like a feather, who turns out to be equipped with a spine of steel, but not attractive steel. He's got some sort of fork stuffed up his backside, and he's really quite an unpleasant individual when he starts talking. He's the person who said no to Mickey Mouse. How could you say no to Mickey Mouse? Well, Robert Jenrick knows how to do that. And there are others. Let's not forget Matt Hancock, who set the tone for ministerial office. Oh, Gina, accompany me into the stationery cupboard and let's make things move. And of course, Gavin Williamson, who, like Priti Patel, has been identified as a bully. The dirt the dirt rises to the surface and the scum is evident. But I don't think that defines politics in this country. I don't think that defines the Conservative Party. And I defy anyone who thinks that this is a left-right divide. This is about people who have been elected to office and have forgotten their responsibility. People who have kowtowed to slogans rather than to listening. People who know that there's an entire department equipped with people on interns or internships or much the same sort of thing, who will write all your letters for you, who will draft that difficult paragraph about housing or education or indeed migration, who've got that tone of phrasing that can be recited and recited. And we saw it this morning rather brilliantly. We saw it this morning in what Gillian, the Education Secretary, whatever her name is, Gillian Keegan said, and then Rishi Sunak said. And they both had the same phrasing: impact and mitigation. Words which don't come naturally, words which are very strange. They were speaking from a script. What I think we need to do, we need to get back to the point where ministers have a mind and are not given slogans to recite, where ministers consider the issues and take personal responsibility. We're not beyond that. And that is something I would urge from any party in office, from any party. We need to change.